Conception does not guarantee manifestation. Now, what I mean by that is bird and a fish created by God. The fish was created to do what? Swim. So fish do not attend swimming lessons. I know it sounds simple, but it's very important. Why? Because swim is built into the fish. Why? Because God demanded the fish to swim. So he put the ability in it. Birds were designed by God to fly. So birds don't attend flight school. Flight is built in. I like this one. Seeds. Seeds were designed by the Creator to bring forth trees. You'll never find a seed attending a tree growing convention to learn how to grow trees. Why? Where's the tree? Trapped on the inside. In other words, whatever God created something to do, he built it in. Your culture and your educational system doesn't allow you to discover that. We are educated to be employed, not to be deployed. Seeds deploy themselves and become trees. Fish deploy themselves and they swim. Birds deploy themselves and they fly. We are the only creatures God created who don't deploy ourselves because our culture doesn't allow it. Gotta get free from the culture. And it's seminars like this that make you begin to have a meeting with yourself, discuss yourself with yourself, and say to yourself, self, am I who I really am? You know, here's my conviction. This is why I believe that buried in every human being is a leader, trapped by an erroneous philosophy that you were born to follow. Let us make man to have what? Dominion. To govern, to rule, to lead, control. Which means that somewhere inside of you is a ruler, a controller, a leader, a dominator. Somewhere in there, because he would not have demanded it if he didn't inject it. Which means that your ability is determined by your responsibility. Your potential is designed by your purpose. Your potential is equal to what you were born to do. The best example I can give you is this car. Look at this car. All cars have what they call a speedometer. Am I right? Well, here's an old one, old Chevy. Now, if you look at the numbers have to 160 miles per hour this car can travel. All of your cars have that kind of registration. Sometimes 200, 180. Everybody got that, right? Okay. Now, when you bought the car, that was on the car. You bought the car with it. It was on it. 180 miles per hour. I'm getting ready to go. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay, so you bought this car, brought it home, and the manufacturer says this car can travel 180 miles per hour. How can the manufacturer put that on there? What makes him so sure that this vehicle could travel 180? That's the first question. The second question is, have you ever traveled 180 in that car? No. Let me tell you how stupid our philosophy of our countries are. We sell a car that could travel 180 and put a sign up 50 miles per hour. It's amazing. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I have no idea how they got this idea. I don't know where it comes from. But it tells you the nature of your culture. Don't try it. They give the company permission to build the capacity, but restricts your ability to use it. And you never thought about that. And that's the way they think about you. So all your life, you can make 180. But you've been traveling for 50 years at 60 miles per hour, and you think you're living. The capacity is present. Our culture says you can't go any further. And God says, press the accelerator. And your culture says you can't go any further. You can go no faster. You got to make a decision tonight, see?
I love my mother, but I'm not giving my mother control over my life. My mom got control of her life. She don't get to have control. Somebody missed what I said. My mom don't have the right to tell me what to do with my life. My mom trained me, and I'm on my own now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So number two, you got to get this. The only way you're going to get to where God would have you to go is to have control, because God has given you the freedom of choice, and he ain't gonna make you do nothing. So number two, I need you to take the control back so you can get what God has for you. Now here's the third thing, and we're gonna get to the message that God told me to tell you. God told me to tell you to stop making plates for people who just trying to take it to go. Write that down. No, God told me to tell you, stop making food for folks that just wanted to go plate. He told me to tell you that there's somebody in the room, your life is screwed up because you making food for people who just wanted to go plate. You are a good person. You phenomenal. You got it going on. You making all these great meals, and it's a whole bunch of people coming to your house. And listen to me very closely. My grandma taught me when I was young. My grandma had 14 kids who all had kids. And my grandma said, I will cut you. You can eat as much food as you want at the house. But if I swear if one of y'all little jokers take some out this house, you get in the business in front of your mama. In front of your, because I used to whip their butt. I'm whipping your butt too. With a switch. Don't take no food out of my house. You can eat as much as you you want when you here, but do not pack a plate. And most of y'all running with people who, when you fix food, they come to your house and take it to go plate. They don't bring nothing. They not trying to help you. All they in your life to do is take. And you wondering why your life messed up, because you with takers. You done made a whole spread, and they just coming in. They can't even say, they don't have the decency to say hi and thank you. You so ignorant, though. You just so geeked to have them coming. So-and-so came to my house. I'm so glad they came over. Listen to me. I promise you there's some other folks who cooking or who would bring at least something to drink and some cups that would love to come to your house. You ain't got to put up with that mess. And so in 2019, God told me to tell you, your life gonna go to a whole nother level if you just get rid of folks who bring it in to go containers. You already know who they are too. As soon as I said it, you already knew who you like. See, they'll never bring that. You didn't even notice at first until it came in the atmosphere. Then all of a sudden you was like, you're right. They always taking. And I tell my babies all the time, it ain't nothing wrong with helping, but you can't help when you ain't got nothing. You got to have something first before you can help somebody. I couldn't do this if I was broke. The plane tickets cost money. The hotel I'm staying at in Buckhead costs money. I couldn't do this if I was broke. I couldn't be a blessing of you if I was broke. And most of y'all, you broke and you trying to bless somebody when you broke. You ain't that desperate for company. You can't be that desperate to have somebody at your house. And he keep eating at your house but going to stay at her house. I'm just trying to help somebody. She coming to get a plate from your house, but she's sleeping at his house. Ain't nothing wrong with getting a plate, boo, but you gonna have to stay. You're gonna have to at least stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it in so you can understand. And so God is blessing you, but the little resources you got, you're giving them away. So what you're gonna have to learn how to do is you're gonna have to learn to bring people in your life.
You know, you gotta pick certain things that motivate. The number one motivating thing for me, and I'm just being honest, was I was sick and tired of being poor. I was just exhausted. My mother was poor, my father was poor, my brothers and sisters were poor, all my friends were poor, all my relatives were poor. I lived in a poor neighborhood, we lived in a poor house. I was just like, wow, man. I watch TV, and I would see, like at Christmas time, my father would put us in the car and take us out to the suburbs to see the Christmas lights. And I would see these big houses, man, with lights all on them, and they had horseshoe driveways where you just pull in and go all the way around. That was amazing to me. You know, we would pull up in the driveway, got a back out. You know, I've been doing that, and I kept saying, I told my father, I said, Dad, I said, why don't we get one of these houses? He said, boy, I ain't got no money for this kind of house. He said, but if you work hard, keep going to church like your mama say, you can make some money, you can buy you one of these houses. That was it. My motivation was to buy a big house so I could put up Christmas lights and drive in the driveway. And I'm gonna tell you something. Every home I have, every house I've ever owned or built, you got to pull in one way and drive all the way around to come out there. I have never built, lived, or owned a home that did not have that driveway with gates on both sides. Never. That was the biggest motivating. So my advice is you have to find a dream that's so big that it overwhelms all of your fears and causes you to never give up. Now you're gonna think about quitting no matter what you do. I mean, I've thought about it many times, but I always just kept thinking about that house. And I've always dreamed of buying my mother and father a real house. And you know, and before they died, I was able to do all of that.
Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
When you hear the word fear, what comes into your mind? Maybe you see yourself walking down the street calmly until someone covers your mouth and you pass out. Then you are tortured and killed. Or you might be afraid of losing your job, or wife, or a special friend. On the other hand, some people are afraid of trying new things. You might be a man who is not starting his business due to the fear of failing. Everyone is afraid of something. And while it isn't a bad thing, being afraid of something can retain you from living. You end up getting depressed and anxious all the time. It keeps you separate from your loved ones, and it can limit your will to try and freeze you in your tracks. You might be thinking why I said fear is not a bad thing. Well, let me tell you that fear is an early signal of something dangerous. However, you need to figure out the difference between healthy fear and an unhealthy one. One example of healthy fear is when your mind tells you to step away from an edge of a dangerous cliff. And unhealthy fear is the one that keeps you from living your life. You start thinking that fears are a part of who you are. However, you need to understand that your fears don't represent your true self. In the end, let me tell you that you cannot keep running away from your fears. You will ultimately have to face them. You will have to overcome your fears. There is no other option. So don't let yourself drown in your fears and start overcoming them today. You will never overcome your fears if you are not ready to face them. You need to stop fears from taking control of your life.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again. Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
On a mental level, what's self-awareness? Knowing what type of people I like to be with. Knowing who helps me grow and who drains me. That's mental self-awareness. So self-awareness at every level, and then we go into the spiritual consciousness level. That's disconnecting from all these identities and understanding the identity that we are wired for generosity and we're wired to serve. And only in service can we be happy. And that's us on a consciousness level. That's the identity of consciousness. Like water is wet, the sun is heating and light. Consciousness is service. Like that's how it fits.
Why are we wired for that?
We're wired for that because all of us as consciousness have been designed, and we see it since like even kids. Like I was giving this example of this beautiful, and you may have seen it. It went viral on Instagram. It was this little girl, probably about 2 years old, watching a cartoon, and she takes a handkerchief, and the cartoon character's crying, and she goes up to the television and she tries to wipe it up, right? And it's incredible because this girl's 2 years old and she thinks this cartoon character animal is crying, and she gets a real tissue and tries to wipe it on the TV. Obviously it doesn't work. And there's another one that I saw with this statue of this rabbit, and there's like 4 rabbits and one rabbit's like falling off the end, and this little boy is trying to push the rabbit up, but it's a stone rabbit, it's just a statue, but he's trying to help it back up. So we see, and there was a great article in Wired about this, about how we're wired for generosity. Our brain is happier in service. This whole world is almost a school and education system to make us realize that one truth. And we see that when we're serving, when we're doing that, we feel genuine happiness. But when we're trying to gain and greed and power and strength, we even feel empty as it slips through our fingers. So the why is because that allows us to connect to our deepest self, the happiest self that we have. And modern studies have shown that. So Michael Norton at Cambridge University, he did a study where they gave people $5, $10, $20 to spend on themselves. Have you seen this?
Go ahead though.
Yeah, and then they spent $5, $10, $20 on others. So people spent $5, $10, $20 on makeup, Starbucks, and normal stuff, right? That was the three makeup, Starbucks, and then something else, I can't remember. And then people who spent on other people, they also bought the same stuff. Starbucks was still in there, and they're buying all this stuff. What they found is that when people self-assess their happiness before and after, without knowing about this A/B test, people who spent the money on themselves didn't feel any happier or any less happier. But the people that spent on others felt 10 to 20% happier. And then he went and tried this out. This was a college in the United States. They then went and did it in Africa. They did it all over the world. And the stats and the pattern showed the same. Wow. That we're wired for generosity. We're wired to serve. To make us realize that that's our real nature. That's our greatest self-awareness.
You could be rich, man, but you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You got to take the stairs. Y'all got to start getting gritty, man. Somebody taught this to me a long time ago. He said, Steve, in order to get to the life of your dreams, you're going to have to learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you hear people say all the time, I don't want to do nothing that I'm not comfortable with, this person's in trouble. Because whatever your comfort zone is, If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. If your comfort zone is this big and you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. In order to succeed in life, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. But I want to tell you something about yourself. All of you are equipped to live outside of your comfort zone. See, a lot of people are afraid to jump. A lot of people are afraid to take chances. A lot of people are afraid to put things up for risk. And you shouldn't be. Now, you can be afraid, but you should learn how to go ahead anyhow. See, because let me show you something about yourself. For all the bad days you've ever had, for every day that you thought you wasn't going to get through, for every period in your life you did not see no way you could come out on the other side, your track record for surviving them bad days is 100%. You have survived every single one of them. Your track record for surviving bad days, y'all, is 100%. And that's pretty good. You can't name one bad day you ain't got through. I have a life of convenience now. But in order to get the life of convenience, you got to have a very uncomfortable life. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Stop trying to do everything the short way. Stop trying to figure out the easy way. You got to get messed up sometimes. You got to get dirty. You got to get your feelings hurt. You got to get disappointed. You got to get told no. You're going to ask somebody for some money. He going to tell you no. But show me something that has grown into something beautiful that didn't have no dirt on it. You take a seed and throw it on the concrete. Don't put no dirt on it and watch what happens. See, you get tripped out because you got dirt on you. But you need dirt on you to develop. Because dirt ain't just dirt. Dirt is fertilizer. Dirt is nutrients. Dirt gives you the strength for your seed to push through. See, you got to have dirt on you to push through something. Everything you see that's beautiful starts out as a seed, but that seed got to get dirt on it. See, you get mad when haters come your way. You get mad because you get a setback. You get mad because you get thrown off course. You get mad because you get a detour. That's just dirt. You get mad because they talking about you. That's dirt. You get mad because you lost your mama. That's dirt. I want you to think about all them bad moments you had that looked like you wasn't going to make it. And then I want you to ask yourself, well, why did I make it? Just change your mindset. If you change your attitude, you change your altitude.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.
Well, same advice I give to my kids, man, if I could get them to understand the importance of their 20s. Because, man, you know what I did? I just blew my 20s. I ended up spending all of my 30s fixing what I messed up in my 30s. Now, I spent all of my 40s doing what I could have been doing in my 30s. I looked up, man, I had let too much time slip away. If you could get young people to get their foot on the gas pedal in their 20s, because right now they think going out is everything. And I keep telling them, man, you're gonna outgrow that in a minute. Because, you know, like at this age, it's when somebody says, hey, we're gonna go out to a club tonight. Go out to a club? Are you kidding me? It don't make no sense to you now, because you're over that. But it takes a minute for them to understand it, man. It's sad. I wish they'd get it, but I wasn't clubbing in my 20s. I didn't know how to make a vision board. I didn't know how to. What really changed my life, man, was I got in Amway when I was about 24. I got in Amway, and that changed my life, man, because the first time ever, they introduced me to self-help books. And I read 2 books that changed my life. It was The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale and The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I read them books and it changed my life. But it also made me remember what my mother had taught me, because she was a Sunday school teacher, because all self-help books are Bible-based. There's nothing Everything comes from the Bible. All them self-help books, that's Proverbs. That's all it is. It's the book of wisdom and understanding. If you could read that, it'll change your life too. But sometimes you need, regular books where you can relate to it differently. But it's all comes from the Bible. It's like a great book is The Secret. But if you read The Secret, it's all Bible verse. I mean, it's just based on the Bible. You can't think of nothing new how to tell a person to succeed without the Bible. You can't. It doesn't work that way, So a couple of books changed my life, man. But The Magic of Thinking Big was huge. It just taught me one simple principle. It don't cost no more energy to think big than it does small. You can say Volkswagen and you can say Rolls Royce with the same amount of effort. You ain't got to grunt to say Rolls Royce. So if the Bible is true, which it says a man is as he thinketh, if you think poor thoughts, you got to be poor. The moment you change that thought into wealth or riches, you start the process to becoming wealthy or rich. It's not a magic trick. It's really how it works. People complicate it. You got to do this and you got to do that. But Bible's pretty plain. They ain't got no loopholes in it. Really don't. It's just real simple. It say what it say.
This is money. This is what people want so much of, right? And this is why so many people, how many of you know people that got it and then lost it all? They get it. Ed was taking money, he'd get $8 an hour or whatever, and somebody pays him $100, and somebody pays him $800, and somebody pays him $8,000, and a guy wins a lottery, whatever. You get the money. Now what? Number one rule, get the money. Everybody with me? Get the money. Everybody's like, can I get it? See, you got that conflict going right now. You got that conflict. Skinny man's like, shit, it's close. It's close. Should I get it? Should I get it? I think I should get it because of what he called me earlier. I should get it. Okay, so check it out. See, here's the deal, right? You guys think this is mine, so you don't take it from me. You're like, I can't take it, it's his. This is not my money. Whose money is this? Could be yours. Okay, this money, before it was my money, it was somebody else's. Everybody agree with that? I'm gonna make this so simple. I spent 17 years and went in debt trying to understand money and knew nothing when I was done. Okay, I'm just gonna make this simple for you. This money, it's got Ben Franklin on it. Who was Ben? I thought he was the president. Guy's not even, all I know for sure is I cannot trust him. I look at him, I'm like, not trustworthy. Does he look trustworthy to you? Okay, come on, fix your hair. Okay, so this month, this piece of paper right here, I'm like, whose was this before I had it? Because if you can go back to what happened before this happened and understand where it's coming from and tie it together with the commerce and circulation, okay, if you want money, you must meet people. It's not the bank that has this money. It's not the institution or a company. There's a person, okay? Right now, I have this money, but this is not my money. This is somebody else's money that I get to hold on to for a moment. You understand? Okay? So number one rule of money. How do I get it? Is that simple enough? Get it, earn it. But once you get it, now what? How do I keep it? How do I keep it? Well, you can't invest it immediately. You got to keep it, and then you got to make some decisions. This is where most people get hung up right now. Most people get it and they keep it. You got a job. Anybody can get a job. You can get a job. I'm going to get $50 an hour or $25 an hour or $15 an hour. But the government's not going to tell you, okay, once you get it, now what? What's your move? What's your play? I'm going to tell you what happens with people that get lazy. People that get lazy are losing. They're losing in life. If I keep losing over and over and over again, I lose. I try something, I lose again. I try something, I lose again. Then me and him hang out, and we both losing. And then the three of us are hanging out, and all three of us are losing. And the next thing I look up, I'm like, you know what? I just don't have any motivation for life, man. I'm losing too much. Winning's underrated. Y'all need to win. Okay, so when I get money and then I lose the money, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this money. You understand? When I get it and then somebody rips me off of it, I'm like, I'd just rather not have it. How many heard this before? Money won't make you happy. How many heard it before? Money won't make you happy. That's from somebody that failed with money. Okay? Okay, you want to write this down. The next time you hear somebody say money won't make you happy, it's somebody that failed with money.
Mr. Schultz said to me that he thought it was a worthy goal to become financially independent for 3 major reasons. First, with money no longer a time-consuming consideration, I could then begin devoting heavy time to all the other dimensions of my life. Second, he suggested I become financially independent because it would tremendously increase my ability to help others, only from positions of strength, including financial strength, can we help someone else. Finally, and most important, he said, I believe it is worthwhile to become financially independent for the sake of developing the person you must become to achieve that goal. What a major secret he taught me. Set a goal to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve it. Reaching the goal is the lesser value. The primary value lies in the person you become by reaching it. You see, it's not the $1 million that's most important. It's what you must do and become in order to be a millionaire. We're all aware that many people feel that we must be careful of focusing on money or affluence or abundance, that in it or in the pursuit of it there is danger. We often hear quoted from the Bible, the love of money is the root of all evil. And I do agree. If you make money your love, and you pursue affluence to the exclusion of or at the expense of other values of life, you have lost, not won. However, let us consider this question. If you could do better, should you? That's not a bad question. In the time allotted to labor, in the time given to economics, care for family, success, achievement, productivity, the creation of value, the development of skills and creativity, if you could do better, should you? I think that one of the greatest satisfactions of living life to the fullest is doing the best you can with whatever you have. Doing less than your best has ways of eroding the psyche. We seem to be creatures of enterprise. Surely it is the reason for the seasons. The soil and the sun and the rain and the seed all say, what can you do with us? The seasons say, do you have the genius to make something unique of us? Life says, here's the raw material. What splendid things can you produce from all there is? So, go for high productivity, the full employment of your genius, the full development of your potential in all areas of your life, including earning money. That is the essence of life. Truly sophisticated people know it isn't the amount that counts. It's doing all that you can with all you've got that counts.
See, the reason you wake up every day is because God ain't through with you yet. If God was through with you, you wouldn't wake up no more. But he keeps waking you up because he still has something for you that you've yet to receive. But you have to start living your life in expectation. You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. It is the law of attraction. It is real. It is nothing fake about it. The Bible says a man is as he thinketh. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you. If you live your life in despair, that's what happens to you. If you say all men are dogs, you're going to meet every last one of them. I'll never be rich. You won't. You won't. The moment you change that frequency, different things come back to you. I'm telling you this how it works. It's just the principles of success. You just got to adhere to them because the law of attraction works. If you walk in the house, this is how it works. Whatever you put out, that's what comes in. You pick up your remote and you press the on button, you point it at the TV, guess what happens? So the law of attraction works. Whatever you emit from your remote control, the greatest remote control ever invented was your mind. Whatever you emit from that signal, that's what returns to you. That's how it works, man. This ain't no magic trick. If you want more people to smile at you, all you got to do is smile at more people. That's it. You want more people to shake your hand? All you got to do is stick your hand out in front of more people. Everybody ain't going to shake your hand, but I bet you a whole lot more people will. Because you attract that. You think rich, you be rich. You think poor, your poor. You ever heard a woman say, all men are dogs? Guess what? She finna meet all of them. You gonna meet every last one of them. You ain't even gonna meet a good dude, because that's what you attracted. So when I wake up in the morning, I only have great thoughts. I'm gonna have a great day. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate the day. I expect great things to happen to me. Even when something negative happens, all I gotta do is wait it out. Behind every moment of adversity, there's a lesson and a blessing. All you got to do is ride it out. It's gonna be tomorrow. And as long as you wake up, whatever happened yesterday, that's in the past. I'm telling you, man, all you got to do is think. If you think different, you be different. That's the trick. I ain't smarter than nobody in here. I just think a little bit different. I think big thoughts. I want to ask God for little stuff. I don't even waste his time with little stuff. I want to ask God for no couple $100. Lord, I need another zero on my check. I don't even ask for zeros. I ask for commas. I want another comma. But now, if you want a zero, just ask for the zero. That's just a thought, y'all. That's just a thought.
Now, I want you to repeat after me, please. We got to recondition our minds first. Let us say together, good things are supposed to happen to me. Yeah, write that down. I want you to say that to yourself every day. See, we live in a world where we believe that bad things are supposed to happen to us. I remember at a point in my life, Bishop, when things are going good for me, and I said, this is too good to be true. Something is bound to happen. Guess what? It did. Thou shalt decree a thing that shall be established unto you, and shall accomplish that whereunto it has been sent. Watch your words. Watch what you say about yourself, about your affairs. Be conscious of that on a daily basis. Why? Because your words are powerful. In the beginning was the Word. Life and death is in the tongue. Watch what you say. Never say I'm broke. Say I'm overcoming a cash flow problem. Claim what you want, not what you don't want. So affirm good things as opposed to happen to me, and begin to believe that. Begin to expect that. Now, I was talking to my oldest son, Calvin. We were going for a walk. And I said, Calvin, do you want to be successful? He said, yes, sir, Dad. I said, okay. He kept on walking. Then I stopped and I looked him in the eyes. This is my namesake, my junior. I said, Calvin, we're looking at each other eye to eye now. Do you expect to be successful? Given the fact that you are a single parent of 2 kids, given the fact that you decided not to go to college to further your education, given the fact that you are very talented, but you're behind on your dreams and your bills, do you expect, based upon your performance, based upon what you produce at this point in time in your life, do you expect to be successful? And Calvin got quiet. Because see, if you ask most people at the Manpower Conference, do you want to be successful? Do you want to live a life of productivity? Do you want to live a life of contribution? Do you want to be a better father? Do you want to have your own business? Are there dreams you want? Everybody will say yes. But see, want shows up in conversation. Expectation shows up in behavior.
You have to understand, you are a magnet. Like attracts like. Whatever you are, that's what you draw to you. If you're negative, you're going to draw negativity. You're positive, you draw positive. You're a kind person, more people are kind to you. So you're like a magnet, you know, and you got to understand something about like attracts like. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. This is so true. You've got to grab this. You got to create dream boards. You got to put the new car up on your mirror. Put the weight you want to be on the refrigerator. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's the law of attraction. That's what you bring to you. The next principle, ask, believe, receive. So many people overlook this very simple quality. You don't have to figure it out. That's what freezes people. When you're trying to figure out your life all the way to the end, when you can't figure it out, it freezes you from trying it because you go, oh, well, I can't figure that out. Oh, I can't go over there because I don't know how. You don't have to know how. You have to ask, believe, and receive. That's as simple as it gets, folks. It's very, very true. I really want you to understand that. Now, science says, show me and I'll believe. Faith says, believe and I'll show you. There is a difference. Next, very importantly, gratitude is a powerful process. The only way to move to the next level is you must show gratitude for where you are. If you show gratitude, it gets you to where you want to be quicker. Very true. This is the last one. You know, at my mom's funeral, I learned something that was the most important lesson I've ever learned. I was sitting there, I was totally distraught. My mama was gone. You couldn't talk to me that week. It was the worst week of my life. The minister said something. He told us to think of only the good things that she's done. So me and my brothers were sitting there and we started laughing about some of the stuff my mom had done. And we started smiling. And then the minister said something that has registered with me. Joy and depression cannot reside in the same space.
The noise in your family. I know you don't have no noise in your family. Pray for me. But sometimes my family get noisy. You know, you always got something going on. You got the noise in your family. You got the noise in your finances. You got the noise on your job. I don't care what you do. There's always somebody that you work with that don't like you. You got the noise of your job, the pressure of deadlines, the dates to meet, the this to do, the that to do, the bills to be paid, the taxes to come. Have you had your teeth cleaned? When was the last time you've been to the podiatrist? You haven't had anybody do anything with your scalp or your skin or your this, and you're standing in the middle of so much noise. You live in it, you drive in it, you walk in it, you get in your car and you get in the traffic, they're honking and blowing and pushing and shoving. You turn on your phone and there's somebody you don't even know on Instagram laying you out about something you don't even understand about, and you have to live in the noise. It isn't just the decibel of the noise itself, how loud, how boisterous it is. It also goes far beyond that. It is the constant living under the threat that takes away our peace. Peace has become valuable. When I was young, I wanted joy. We danced all night long. They put us in the car. We were still dancing and shouting up on y'all don't know nothing about that, but in the old Holy Ghost sanctified church, we go to and we shout, and then we just had joy. But as I got older, I appreciate joy, but Lord, can I have a little peace? Oh, if you give me a little peace, I don't have to dance all night. Now I just want to be able to sleep all night. Oh, y'all not gonna talk to me. We've lost the sense of peace, the sense of contentment, the sense of well-being, the feeling of safety. Looking over your shoulder in the grocery store. Can't go to a theater without watching everybody. In the airport, looking for a strange bag dropped at a strange place. You're scared of everybody, living constantly under the threats of not knowing what's going to happen next.
It will do certain things to you that will put you down and keep you down if you let it. It doesn't give you any strength. It gives you more weakness than power. When you surround yourself with people that are negative, when you surround yourself with different things that are not helping you to grow strong, but instead put you in a position where you're at a weak state and you don't feel that you could come back from it, that's exactly what negativity does. You cannot get anywhere in life when you're having negative things around you. If you are in a negative environment, these things will hinder you from success. You have got to understand what negativity truly ultimately does. Eventually, it will put you in a position where you are feeling hopeless. You feel that you got to depend on someone to be happy, but you don't. You feel like you got to hang around a bunch of people to feel important, but you don't. You got to understand when you're hanging around things that is not helping you to move up, it's only going to put you in a position where you're going to stay down. And this is not a place that you want to be. Do not let negative tell you what to do. Don't let negativity put you in a position that you feel that there's nothing going to come out of you. You have every opportunity right in front of you. Just take a moment of clarity within yourself and realize that you do matter. Understand that there's purpose within you, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that you do matter for a reason because you exist for a reason. Now, if you let negative or negativity control you, control your thoughts, control your actions, then what's left? You got to get past this thing about wondering who, what, when, and where, and how you're going to go to the next level. The only way you're going to move up is you got to move up with the right mindset and understanding that you have all the power and uniqueness within you to get to the level you want to be in your life. But you can't allow things that are holding you back to take control of your life.
You can get discouraged a lot of ways, but the one surefire way to avoid discouragement, first of all, let's understand something. We're all participating in this thing called life. All of us. Life has ebb and flows. Mountaintops, it's got valleys, it's got thunderstorms in it, earthquakes. This life, you stop expecting it to go smooth, because it ain't finna go smooth. The road to success is always under construction. This life ain't set up to be smooth. You combat negativity and you combat discouragement with gratitude. It's the one way to combat discouragement is with gratitude. What messes you up is you focus on the thing that's not happening, and that causes you to get discouraged. So whenever you get discouraged, you have to change your focus from what's not happening to what has happened. And it straightens you out immediately. Because what causes the downslide is if you get wrapped up into what ain't happening, it get ugly, man. And it just snowballs. But you have to focus on gratitude. People understand how serious gratitude is. You know, it's a serious principle of success. It's hard to be miserable and grateful at the same time. I learned this at my mother's funeral, man, which was like the roughest. That week of my life was like chaotic, man. I thought I was gonna die. My mama passed. I was 40. I didn't do good, man. I thought I was crumbling. I really, man, I didn't know what that was, man. The most important person to me was gone. I was crushed. I thought I was gonna die. And at the funeral, my mother was a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. And I'm devastated. My mother's in a casket. That's just not the picture I ever wanted to see, right? And I was struggling with her being up there. And the preacher stood up and he said, I know y'all hurting. I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He said, but I want y'all to look around at this church. My mama had been a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. Church was packed. It was packed. He said, the overflow room is full. He said, we've put up projector screens in the parking lot. We don't do that on Easter. We just set up projector screens in the parking lot because so many people then came to see your mother off. Said, because your mother meant something to everybody. My mama's funeral was filled with the hood, the gangsters, pimps, the hustlers, the dope boys, the police, the politicians, church people. He started talking about, he said, look how full this church is. Look at the lives she touched. Look what she meant to so many people. We got people in this church we ain't seen in years. He said, look at this. And I want you to think of all the incredible things your mother has ever done. And then he started listing the things she had done around the church and what people had said about her. And we started smiling. And this was the first time I had smiled in a week. That week was ugly for me. And he said, now listen to this. You see the smiles on your face? He said, joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. So when you get down and you start thinking about how dark it is, I want you to remember everything your mother taught you that was good. And that replaced all the negative thoughts I was having. Because joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. Well, now you got to take that concept and apply it to your life. If joy and depression cannot reside in the same place, when you get depressed and you get discouraged, you got to replace it with joy. And what more joyous than gratitude? What has God done for you? Didn't you wake up today? Ain't you still breathing? Don't you have some measure of health? Ain't you working? You may not have the car you want, but don't you have a car? Ain't you eating groceries today? You ain't homeless. Now, when you start tripping and you get depressed, you got to go into yourself and come up with some gratitude. Once you get grateful, went downstairs and started doing my meditation. I pull out a list of everything I'm grateful for. By the time I got to the 13th thing, I thank God for 75 things every morning. By the time I got to 13, I was fine. Because guess what? I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm healthy. I'm finna go do a job. I tell jokes. They finna pay me.